Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games. This time going back to Relic Knights with the Purifiers from the Shattered Sword Paladins. Starting, let's see, yeah, Fairskin 09047. So the Purifiers are support troops specializing in pulling AO or debuffs enemy AoEs off the field. So they do have the swords. And this is a unit of 3. I am going to mix up the skin tones a little bit. Not that there's much skin showing anyway, because just a bit on the face. And the hands. I might do those as, redo those as gloves. We'll just do them as hands for now. And the second model, I'll use the same skin tone on. And she's the only one wearing her helmet. Then for the last, I'll use Dark Skin 09041. Because I like to mix up skin tones when it seems appropriate for the game's setting. In Relic Knights, you know, humanity's all over the place. But Malifaux and War Machine, skin tones are they're more homogeneous, not as cosmopolitan as other games. Okay, and then where is it? 09017 True Blue. And I'll be mostly doing just partial models on camera, or rather one from the unit, just to get the sake of speeding this up. So I'm just arbitrarily going to pick her. Making sure to go underneath the skirt here. I am doing my own color scheme as opposed to the official, but I am sticking with this blue because I like this blue. I've gotten this a little too wet. Alright. Get the other two off camera, let that dry, and move on a bit. Okay, well, aside from wearing the white background seems to work a little better. Let's see, Tarnished Steel 09206. And I'll probably pick out another color on the swords later. Just go ahead and do the whole thing in the steel right this minute. Then I'll apply to the rest and move on in a minute. Okay, while the swords dry, each one of them will get their own ostentatious hair color, so 09257 blonde hair. And she just has a little bit peeking out the back of her helmet. Now for the other two, they're going to get blonde highlight 09258, but I'll be playing around with the shading and or highlight to try to give some different effects to it. Let's see how well I pull it off. I should mention these, some of these purifiers assembled a little funny. Like they may have been miscast, but I just went ahead and rolled with it. So, and I'll have to pick out her ribbon later in another color, probably blue. So, that was something of an oversight I made. That is a little thick. Okay, let that dry and then move on. Just one more base coat, I think, and then I can start shading. Okay, next up, Antique Gold 09050. And I just lost my brush. I'm gonna use this as a secondary color on the sword. And this decoration in the inset of the blade. Mostly, though, this is going to be the armor color. Make sure I don't have too much water. It's going to be a nice, yeah, that's too much water. A nice, solid, thorough coat. Making sure to get the legs too. So this armor is form-fitting, but these purifiers are armored head to toe pretty much, at the very least from the neck down. And choosing to do her on camera since she's got the most armor. By that I mean the other two have opted not to wear helmets. And that's a nice solid coat, so I'm going to let that dry and get the other two off camera. Just one more base coat, maybe a couple of touch-ups. Okay, last base coat. Cloudy Gray 09089. So a few touch-ups I did. I got the bow in her hair with that same blue as the skirt, and did the fringe on the front flap here of all three models in the gold. And being careful not to nick the feet. This is just going on the stonework, and this is another custom sculpted base insert I've done. I get under the boot, but not on it. Okay. Let that dry, then I can start shading. Alright, things are dry enough, I can start shading. Ancient Bronze 09049. I'll only be able to do one color at a time for a while on this. So thinning it out about half paint, half water. Then that into a wash. Keep the brush nice and wet during this. Okay. And just keeping my brush wet and just letting the paint flow. And I'll get the rest off camera, but that's a start. Okay. Last bit is dry enough to work with, but not completely dry, so Blonde Shadow 09256. Okay, and we'll see if I can pull this off the way I think I can. Because sometimes you have an idea of how you think it'll work out, and sometimes it doesn't. Blonde Hair 09257. gonna try for a platinum, more of a platinum blonde on her. Again, this is experimental, so you never learn anything new if you don't experiment, so always worthwhile. Then the experiment with her is going to be pale green 09012. See if I can get kind of a mint colored hair. Anime and video game inspired and all that. So that's a pale green 09012. If I can't remember if I said it or not, you know I'm in trouble when I can't remember what I just did. This may work. Maybe. And I got it all over the face and armor, so I'll just soak that up with a brush. Try again. So, well, we'll see if I get the results I want, but the experiment is underway, so. Okay. Then I think this is dry enough, I can do the steel as well. So that'll be Blackened steel 09205, and that just went into the chest area again, so good grief, alright. Joys of technical difficulties, right? So, Blackened steel. Use the brush and try to soak up this excess spillover again. And get the rest of the sword. Being careful to avoid the gold I've already shaded. Okay. Well, that's just going to leave skin tones and a green that's still fighting me. It's going to leave skin tones and the blue and the stone, so I'm just about there. I can add some lighting effects and highlight and detail. Alright. I can do the last few colors simultaneously, so I'll start with the skin tones. Dark Shadow 09040. And thankfully her skin tone will cover up the overflow from that green earlier. And for the other two, Fair Shadow 09046. Just dab that on the face. Quick once over on the hands. And then 09016 Sapphire Blue. This one's really been fighting me lately. And this case, I'm going to make sure to get the underside of the skirt with it, even though I'm not highlighting it. Dab it around and let it flow down into there. Quick and easy. Same for the second model, just get the underside. Starting with the underside. Again, keeping the brush nice and wet. Trying to get up in that corner where the armor ends and the skirt begins. And her bow or ribbon. Making sure I'm not dropping hundreds of frames over the course of a few seconds, which I'm still trying to figure out what's causing that. It's got to be some kind of system glitch, but I'm not sure how to make it go away, but okay. Now for the base, it's going to be 09088 Stormy Gray. I'll just do the one and get the other two off camera. Once those dry, actually I can probably set up the lighting effects after I can probably get the lighting effects ready now. So 09039 Pure White. They have jewels on their swords, and I'm just going to take a second and get those painted in white first. I can do a lighting effect later. And now taking that Stormy Gray, just being careful around the feet, but otherwise just slathering it all over that base and letting it flow. Let's get into the canals I carved. And a little bit more here. And once that dries, I can finish the lighting effects and then start highlighting and shading, or highlighting and detailing. Okay, things are still drying, but it's dry enough to work with for the next step. So taking Pure White again, 09039. Going to carefully fill in the eyes. Some of these face sculpts are a little wonky. So I'm sure they'll get fixed when Soda Pop gets things working again and gets things up and running again. I choose to remain optimistic about them at least they are trying. So, Sparkling Blue 09104. That's way more than I need. So I'm thinning this out more than typical, so 3 or 4 parts water to 1 part paint. Get this really, really thin. Just dabbing it on jewel there. Make sure at least part of the white shines through. I'll apply that to the other 2, move on in a bit to highlight and detail. Alright, time to highlight and detail. So pure black 09037 to start with. Just a tiny dot. I'm just using this to get the pupils. And carefully dotting those in. And I just conked my camera again. Let's try that again, a little more paint. Okay. Put those brushes aside. Fair highlights 09048. Move this for a minute. Taking a ragged feathered brush, kind of like this, no water, and rubbing most of the paint out on the paper towel till it looks like there's nothing left. Then lightly dusting, going against any ridges. Refreshing as needed. Want your brush to be completely dry between coats here, so dark highlights 09042. So you want your brush completely dry between layers, or yeah, between colors. Goes in my mind. Okay, well, you get the gist of that. Get that out of the way. Now, where is it? Sky Blue 09018. Oh boy. There we go. That's enough. And I'll just go ahead and get all 3 of them highlighted right now. So, switching brushes pretty freely. Just gonna get her ribbon. Oh, it's not dry on the back yet. Oh boy. Alright. Well, I'm gonna have to abort this till it's dry, so I'll be back in a bit then. Okay, after that little tangle, let's try again. Sky Blue. this, you want to go against sharp edges like the folds in the skirts here. Refreshing your paint is necessary. Trying to avoid her hand. Okay, now some hair. Blonde highlight 09258. So that'll be enough. Because she just has the little bit on the back. I do a little paint mixing here in a second. Pure white 09039 again. Do a little bit more than I need because I will be mixing. Dry brushing and highlighting here. Works a little bit. Then adding a little bit of pale green 09012 to the mix. So there's a pure white and a pale green next to it. I've got a palette knife. I'm just gonna mix it up with a circular motion. Make it nice and solid. Make it look like all those streaks just about gone. Now we'll see if I've managed to pull this off. Well, I'll call it a partial success. I was hoping this would be a little more striking, but just not quite how I'd imagined it. So that does happen sometimes. Don't worry about it. True Silver 09207. Getting swords. I'm not too concerned about hitting the gold on the sword at this point. And speaking of, new gold 09051. Trim. Focusing on the most readily visible areas. The areas that are underneath the skirt are getting ignored. Being really careful on the swords as well, because the connection point here to the hand is really delicate. Kind of dry brush and burnish them, shine them up there. Again, refreshing as needed. Being careful around her hair. But I do want to make sure I get a nice shine on her helmet. Just about done. Okay, more right there. Misty Gray 09090. Had a bit too much paint in it. Being careful to avoid the feet. There we go, last step now. That's sort of moving some brushes I've used around. Taking whoa, sparkling blue again, which is 09104. And taking a flathead brush. That was odd. Alright, it's fine. Just going to line the edge of the base in a faction-specific color. I like these metallic colors. Relic Knights, basically basing it off the associated Esper type, which would be Order Blue for the Shattered Sword. Yeah, Creation Green, Esper Yellow, Order Blue, Chaos Orange, Entropy Red, and Corruption Violet. Keep my brush fairly moist during this. Being careful not to nick the basing I've done. Last one. It's a little thick right there. Okay, so making sure I'm not dropping hundreds of frames a second. There's been some glitch causing that lately. Not sure how. Okay, there we go. Clean out your brushes thoroughly when you're done. Helps them last longer. And that is that. A 3-woman unit of Purifiers from Shattered Sword. Continuing with some No Empire models next. Until then, I am Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, signing out. Oh, goody.